you know how I just spent my, like, last 2 hours? I woke up at 5, and I literally was so hungry that I walked all the way to the family pantry on the hospital floor, and I made myself a pizza. Icon behavior. Anyways, I wanted to talk about death because I feel like death is a taboo subject for whatever reason. It still is, and I feel like when you're in the hospital, it's like one of those things where I'm like, oh, we can't talk, you know, it's like a big elephant in the room, which honestly, like, it's death. I obviously, but I have had to have a relationship with death pretty much since I was born. I was born with something called bronchial pulmonary dysplasia, which is a disease in where your, like, lung cells are extremely underdeveloped, so your lungs are very stunted. And most cases with children under 2 and above 2, they usually grow out of it. I, however, did not. It was very fatal for me, and it resulted in me having to get a organ transplant for my lungs. So, and now I'm in the hospital because of organ rejection after 6.5 years, which is, like, amazing. 6.5 years, like, amazing. Am I gonna need another lung transplant? Who knows right now? Nobody knows. But I feel like death, for me, I've always kind of had to, like, be okay with it. And, you know, I've always had that mentality, like, everybody dies. Like, nobody's gonna be here in 200 years anyway. You know, like, everybody's just gonna die, so kind of do what you want. Obviously, don't kill anybody, don't rob people, but, like, do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel happy. Find time to be happy and, like, spend the time with the person you love, or do your homework. Like, yesterday, I had one of the most fulfilling days I think I've, like, ever had in my life. I walked a lap. I walked 3 laps. Sorry, I know. I'm an all-star over here. I journaled. I literally have my journal right here. I read my book, which I'm reading. I actually have it with me. Hold on. Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. I have People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I have this book. Sorry, I keep pausing because, like, I'm afraid that nurses are gonna come in here. But I have this book, and I read the prologue in the first chapter, and it's actually really good. It's about, like, these people on vacation, and it's helping me plan of my senior trip if I ever get there in 6 months. I need to, like, stop joking about it. But in all seriousness, I think joking about death and thinking about it is a really good way of mulling over it, you know? I think 6 months ago, I had a complication with one of my immunosuppressant drugs that I'm on to keep my immune system and body from attacking my lungs, because my lungs are in a foreign, obviously they got transplanted, they're not mine, they're foreign objects in my body. So I had a complication with the TMA, basically causing little blood vessels to cling to not blood vessels, like the little blood clots forming to the vessels of my kidneys. And so it hurt my kidneys, my liver, my intestines, my whole abdomen area. And it was, like, the worst pain I've ever been in. And during that experience is really when I thought I was gonna die, my parents thought I was gonna die, literally everybody thought I was gonna die, because also nobody knew what was wrong with me until, like, a week and a half went by and I was in the hospital. So, but it felt very calm, and that, like, death feeling has really helped me think about death, and like it's really been helpful for me to put it into kind of like a concept for me. I feel like I've always viewed death as something that you can kind of see it coming, or if you can't see it coming, obviously you can feel it coming, which I think is a really peaceful thing for me, at least. And you know, I'm okay with it. Like, obviously nobody wants to talk about a 17-year-old girl dying, because that's just a dark and uncomfortable subject. But I think, like, I'll try to talk to people about it, and they'll be like, oh, well, they kind of get all like queasy, you know, and I just like, I think it's a good way to, like, I think, one, it's a great way to bring up uncomfortable subjects, is to throw the most uncomfortable one out there, which is death. And yeah, I feel like there's no wrong way to think about death. Like, it is, nobody knows what it is, at least people that are still here. Like, nobody can tell you that you're wrong for thinking about something in a certain way. That kind of goes for everything, except, like, don't, like I stated in previously, don't kill people, don't commit arson, don't commit crimes. But I think one of my, like, things that I've really dealt with, I have been in the hospital for about a week now, inpatient, and then before this I was at clinics for 1 week. So I've been in Pittsburgh for 2 weeks. I'm in Pittsburgh. I don't know if I already said that, but whatever. But I have lived, like, so much in these last 2 weeks than I have in, like, 3 months. Not that, like, I haven't been living. Obviously I have, I'm alive and well, but I feel like I've been really being a person and, like, being myself. Obviously I have journaled a lot, I've read a little bit, I've colored, I've not been on my phone a lot. I've obviously been on my phone a lot, but like, I don't know, I've just been doing stuff that makes me fulfilled and not, like, because it's there for me to use. Like, yesterday I didn't have treatment, so I got a little bit of homework done, and I sent an email to my teacher basically going, bear with me, because this treatment is really invasive and it's basically making me sicker to make me better. And yeah, so I wrote an email to her. She's not gotten back to me yet. History teacher, if you're watching this, please respond to my email. That'd be great. Actually, history teacher, please don't watch this, because you're probably gonna find this subject really uncomfortable and scary. I love my history teacher. I think she's great. And I don't want her to worry. But, like, I feel like I've lived so much, and I feel like being in the hospital makes you want to appreciate life more, just kind of notice everything around you a little bit more, and also just, like, you do more stuff. You kind of get accepted and, like, praised for, like, if you walk around, if you eat, and it's kind of nice. I feel like that goes with, like, any sick, disabled kid or person. Obviously I'm used to like, everything is a milestone, everything is accomplishment. Like, I sometimes will still get out of bed to this day and be like, you did that, you could have stayed in bed, but no, you got up, you brushed your teeth, you showered, you went to school. And even after all of that, I still take a nap after class, or not after class, after school sometimes, which is probably really bad. But, like, I feel like being in the hospital also gives you a really good sense of pain and joy. Joy, obviously, when you're not in pain, when you're not screaming and crying and moving, but the screaming, crying pain makes you appreciate the joy that you have, which makes you appreciate life more, and which makes you feel like a lot more fulfilled and happy in life. And you can't really go through life without pain, obviously. We all know this, but have we ever really, think about it, But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about that. I thought my input was somewhat valuable. I know that nobody's probably going to see this, but yeah, I have this weird thing, and as an annoying child, to try to inspire people and say, because I think I have valuable stuff to say, or that might just be the sick, privileged, disabled child in me talking, which feels like she has a kind of duty to change the world. I feel like, side note, I think, like, as a disabled child, sorry, this video is apparently not done. I was gonna make it done, but no. I feel like as sick kids and as disabled kids, I don't know if anybody can relate to me on this, we've always been told that we have to change the world, and I feel like a lot of us come to vlogging, which is actually really cool, and vlogging your experiences and yada yada yada, but I feel like we have this kind of notion about us that we need to change something in the world because we've lived through so much, and we've lived more than most, which makes us really annoying by default. Put us in a room with like people, we will just be talking about some philosophical content of life, and then there's just other people sleeping because they're like reading an audiobook that they don't want to read. But like, I feel like disabled kids were kind of annoying, but I don't know, I feel like we have valuable input to say, and I just wanted to say all that. Yeah, but this is just a hospital rant, so it's kind of just me talking. If you stayed till the end, thank you for watching this. Yeah, I'm sorry that this was kind of boring, but yeah. Okay, bye-bye.